Hey everyone, Arjun here. Welcome back to the latest explainer in my India Yatra series. Today, we are opening up my travel diary, leaving the flat, hot plains firmly behind, and climbing straight up into the crisp, high-altitude air of Himalaya Pradesh. It's like stepping into a totally different world. So grab your backpack, let's dive in and see what makes this region so amazingly cool.
So to really get this place, you've got to start with the name itself. Himachal Pradesh literally translates to the land of snowy mountains. And let me tell you, it completely lives up to that title. You aren't just looking at mountains from far away here. You are physically surrounded by the Himalayas, one of the most gigantic mountain ranges on the planet. And this crazy, towering geography basically dictates everything else we're about to see, from the culture to the architecture and even the food. But this geography isn't just barren rock and ice. Hidden up in these steep inclines are some seriously awesome, thriving hubs. I'm talking about the famous hill stations, Shimla, Manali, and Dharamshala. When you're a backpacker up here, these towns are basically your main base camps. They aren't just dots on a map, they're the cultural core of the state, and each one gives you a totally distinct window into what life is really like at such high altitudes. It's actually wild how different they are, too. Take Shimla, for example. It used to be the summer capital of British India, so you're walking around and the architecture looks like a slice of England right in the mountains. But then you go over to McLeod Ganj in Dharamshala, and it's the home of the Dalai Lama. It is packed with beautiful Tibetan monasteries and a huge exile community. The fact that you have this old British colonial history and a deeply rooted Tibetan spiritual culture sitting right in the exact same state is just a fascinating juxtaposition. And you can see this intense mountain environment reflected in what people wear every single day. Because we're in the land of snowy mountains, heavy cold weather clothing is an absolute necessity. But instead of just wearing boring, utilitarian winter coats, the people here have turned their gear into this incredible cultural expression. Everyone wears these intricately woven, brightly colorful wool shawls and traditional caps. It gives you this massive, brilliant pop of color against the stark white snow and gray rocks. That cultural vibe extends way beyond just the clothing, too. Surviving in a harsh mountain landscape means you need a super tight-knit community, and they celebrate that bond through the most joyous folk dances and harvest festivals. Especially during harvest time, everyone comes together to honor the land that sustains them. It's so amazing to see how they turn the tough rhythm of mountain farming into these rich, massive celebrations. Okay, on to my absolute favorite part, the food. Living in the biting cold means Himachali cuisine has to be super hearty and warming. I got to try Siddu, which is this thick, steamed wheat bread stuffed with poppy seeds or walnuts. It is so calorie-dense and gives you tons of energy. And then there's Dham, a massive, rich traditional feast they cook up for special occasions. These aren't light little snacks. These are substantial, comforting meals built to keep you perfectly warm when the temperature drops outside. But honestly, we have to talk about the views. Wow. Just standing up at the high Rohtang Pass or looking out over the lush, dramatic valleys around Manali, it's just breathtaking. I think my favorite detail, though, was the quiet toy train ride up to Shimla. It's considered one of the most scenic train journeys in all of India. It winds super slowly up the mountain, giving you all the time in the world to just sit back and soak in the sheer scale of the Himalayas. It is so peaceful. But you know how it is, a backpacker's always got to keep moving. My travel diary sums it up perfectly. One more patch on the bag, on to the next. Tomorrow, I'm going even higher, into Jammu and Kashmir. Paradise on earth. That's the craziest thing about the Himalayas. Just when you think you've hit the top of the world in the snowy peaks of Himachal, there's always somewhere higher and somewhere totally new waiting to be explored. So, we've explored the British architecture of Shimla, the Tibetan monasteries of McLeod Ganj, warmed up with some dense Siddu bread, and caught those unbelievable views from the toy train. Now I leave you with this question. Which aspect of mountain life would you most want to experience? The deep history, the hearty food, or those epic views? Think about what draws you in and let that spark your curiosity to learn more about India's awesome states. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, guys. Keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next one.